we did talk about a lot of things in tech, but we very lightly brushed upon all the times the topic of AI. And as we know, this is a part of Human AI podcast, and it has to have a bit of AI somewhere into the podcast. So Imanshu, I want you to put some light on for our audience as on the term digital transformation. What do we understand by digital transformation? And more than that, how is it relevant in SMEs, small, micro, and medium scale enterprise?
Yes, absolutely. So firstly, I think when somebody says the term digital transformation, it is a very widely used term today. It's not that people are not using it. But still, at one point, it does get a bit jargony because we are not talking about something definitive here, right? So it is more of the definition of how we, as a tech company, or how others want to define it. The way I do, and we'll probably get your thoughts as well, but the way I do is any MSME, like micro, small, medium size organizations need to start thinking about this term and what this term could mean for them is what my feeling is. Because if we talk about a small enterprise, what digital transformation for them would be, even building any sort of application, any sort of software that automates any part of their business, it does create a lot of efficiency for them. That is digital transformation. If you divide the term, we are digitally transforming you to the next stage, right? That is how I take on it. What do you think? How do you?
So I think for me, digital transformation is a big umbrella term, but more or less, if you ask me conceptually, I break it down this into two parts. The first is actually just transforming your organization, which means having processes. So let's take an example of an organization which is by design quite unorganized. So you can't apply any digital transformation concepts there because it is not organized. So the first stage itself is organizing it using, their standard operating procedures, building some processes. Once you have built in those processes, it can be on paper, it can be on spreadsheet, it can be, sometimes it can be verbally, which is not recommended, but it has to have some processes. Once they have the process, then they become eligible to become digitally transformed. So when we talk about what is the exact meaning of digital transformation is, you take up their physical processes and just replicate it with a scale, with some more validation, with some more, including the tech smartness, and you convert it into a digitally transformed SOPs. So that is what the term digital transformation revolves around for me. And I also think that most of the people think digital transformation is more about making apps. It's about making a new website. It is about implementing a new SaaS-based new software. So it is not actually that. It is more about, you can use any, readily available software, free software as well, to actually transform your company digitally. So that is what my take is.
Absolutely. So would it be fair to say that digitizing their operating procedures, because SOPs is standard operating procedures, digitizing their operating procedures on a platform, it can be any sort of platform. You very correctly said that it's not necessary to build something. There are off-the-shelf platforms or softwares or applications that you can use, customize it for your needs, and start using it for your business, hence increasing efficiency. So, absolutely. Cool. As I said, we want to talk about MSMEs today, right? So let's start with talking a bit about them and the reality of MSMEs as of today. So if I ask you the question, what is the reality of MSMEs today? What would be your take on it?
So the reality of MSME, okay, it's a great, milestone in the podcast to have. So what I feel is today's MSME, they are using some or the other type of software for sure. There are plethora of softwares which are available. Some softwares are dead cheap, some softwares are free, some softwares are expensive. but they are using one or the other software, either in their inventory management, accounts management, or maybe operations management. They are definitely using these softwares. What is not being done is they are not using the smartness that is available in today's age. We all are talking about, AI, ML, and all these smart tech terms, and people feel that it is a futuristic thing, but it is not. AI has been there since quite a while. We have been using Google Analytics, predictable, searches in Amazon and all. There have been Tesla since so long, and people still think that these technologies are not available for them as a SMA because these are quite high fundo technologies. But I just want to break this myth that all these small tech that bigger organizations are using are still available for any small or medium organization as well. So the reality is this. What organizations think right now is, now that they are using software, that is the limit, that is the most optimum that they can work on. But that is a decade old thing. I mean, a decade old also, we had SAP systems, we had some of the other ERPs. So we had all this. Now, what SMEs needs to do is, they need to understand the current scenario, which is readily available smart tech, and start adapting to it. That's how they will gain the edge over their competitors, is what I feel in the current.
Absolutely. And I feel you very rightly said. For example, you cannot be using a decade-old tech, because if we talk about the age of software, it's like talking about dog years or something like that, because something that is even 2 years old, in the tech industry, we would say it is 5 years ago, because the industry is evolving so fast. So I think that is very correct, because the small, small and medium-sized organizations are probably thinking that if we are using a software, or if we are using a system, we are okay, and we have done the right thing. But it's more about evolving to the next step, taking the plunge of maybe talking to somebody to introduce AI into their systems, right? Because I think one thing I've noticed quite a bit, and you mentioned it as well, which is happening very openly, where people are thinking AI or artificial intelligence is for the big people. Like, a small company cannot go to somebody and say, we need AI implementation done. But the reality is they can, because what's changed and why AI has become so famous, or the term has been used so much, obviously because of ChatGPT and all of that, but the algorithms that are out now, which is GPT-4, GPT 3.5 previously, and all those, have made it so easy or available for developers to help these MSMEs now, that they can actually come to us or come to a similar tech agency and start thinking about ideas. And we will, in this podcast, also talk about some example applications that will probably give them some sense, because obviously examples make it easier to understand things. But yeah, I think it's high time for them to take that plunge now.
So I also want to add two more things here. I feel the going digital thing. So people do think that, okay, this is my business and it is going at XYZ rate, and I want to implement a couple of visions. They do hire any consultant who helps them achieve, all these SOPs and digital SOPs. What I feel is, the digital transformation actually does not happen in your organization first. It happens in your brain first. It happens in your mindset first. Going digital is here. It's not in the process yet. Once it starts here, you start thinking everything digitally. That's wherein you start that mindset of going digital in most of the places that you can, which includes, if I was using probably a paper or pen or something like that to take to give signatures and all that, I would change that to probably using a tablet or laptop in this case to sign most of our SOPs like that. So I feel going digital starts with the mindset. Second thing I feel is in this journey of going digital, as you rightly said, the cost of building a digital service or digital SOP or a digital product has gone down by probably 20-30%. If you actually think about all these medium scale enterprises, the cost has gone quite down by probably 20% or so because of all these tools which are empowering the development. So now when, say for example, it used to take 100 rupees to build something, it is being built at 70 to 80 rupees as of now. So it becomes very easy for all these MSMEs to actually go out and build a smart system, or if they have an existing system, build smartness into it. Yes. When I say smartness, what I mean is adding some capabilities of AI as well as ML, as well as any place wherein we can do predictive analysis in their either inventories or their operations or their maybe cost, finances, or any places wherein there are large numbers involved. So these are the places I feel, these are the 2 pointers I feel that has happened in the industry today.